Welcome back to IndieVoice, where we uncover the best, the weirdest, and the unforgettable indie games out there. I am here, your usual reviewer and the one that normally hosts all IndieVoice here, and today we are diving into a game that takes a unique spin on patience. A game called While Waiting, developed by Optilusion. This title, which debuted at the Wholesome Direct of 2024 of last year, was also shown at the Day of the Devs selection and showcased at the Indie Live Expo 2024. So what makes this game special? Let's take our time and find out. From the minds behind the critically acclaimed Moncage, While Waiting is an adventure puzzle game that explores the art of waiting. Unlike traditional puzzle games that challenge you with mechanics and obstacles, this one asks you to do, well, nothing. And that's the whole point. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with action, decisions, and instant gratification, While Waiting flips the script. It takes you through various waiting experiences from childhood to old age, illustrating on how waiting is woven into every stages of life. Whether it's waiting in line or anticipating an important event or simply passing the time, the game encourages you to reflect, embrace, and even find humor in these moments. So how do you play? You'll encounter various scenarios: waiting for the bus, sitting in a hospital room, or even existential waiting of life itself. Each moment is crafted to make you think, reflect, and sometimes even laugh. Unlike most games where action drives progress here, the best course of action is inaction. That's right, you win simply just by waiting. No shortcuts, no fast forward button, just patience. At first glance, the game leans into humor, funny animations, quirky interactions, touching things, or pressing tab to see a little randomized objects, from a fidget spinner to a squeaky toy to just flipping a switch back and forth or clicking onto a pen. There are many things that you'll get to experience while going through this game, and beneath that lightheartedness lies a deeper message about life, time, and acceptance. I have played my share of casual narrative-driven games, and some of them carry hidden depth, like titles such as Welcome to Elk come to mind at first. If you haven't played that one, I highly recommend it. But back to While Waiting, this game surprised me in more ways than one. The game isn't just about waiting, it's about how you perceive waiting. Sometimes you can explore side paths, engage with many distractions, such as I explained, the mini fidget spinner by holding tab or clicking a pen, or going to the little other areas to gather stickers to if you push something or you pick up something or you tear down a poster, anything along those lines. Give hidden achievements by simply experimenting with how you wait. It's weirdly satisfying and strangely immersive. I also found myself replaying levels, trying to see how to approach things differently, or how to get this hidden sticker, or how to get other areas of the game to show the many ways and experiments on how you wait. There may be many of games out there like this, but this one, it takes the whole concept of waiting and it makes it into something beyond different than most other games that use adventure or the casual genre constantly. This one's more like you get to see the perspective on how life, just by waiting, can speed up, or how you take full advantage on how to gain other things while waiting, such as where you get to approach different things or go through the level again to see what you can do in this spot, or how can you make this better or different. There's a lot of ways that you can go about while waiting, and it encourages you to rethink on how to engage each scene that you go through the main protagonist's life and how he goes from a child to having his high school life to then going to college and then having the adulthood and seeing him having a job, having a girlfriend, having a kid, and then getting to the point of old age at a point. There's a lot of things you experience throughout the main protagonist's life that just makes you wonder about your own and how you simply waiting, what does that cause and how does that give you the whole thing of how to wait differently in life. So since this is a bit of a more expanded review for this game and I wanted to go a little bit more deeper, connecting to all of you, those that have subscribed to the channel, and a little bit more on me and this channel itself. This game is really connecting with me very strongly because it reminded me a lot of, I went through high school, went through college, and I didn't think of IndieVoice until like maybe a couple years after I finished college, and it's making me wonder myself, should I have started this earlier when I was in my university or my college, and I should have probably maybe expanded this more to get more of this on there, because before I was really into just making video games. I used to be a game developer, like a designer and such like that, level designing. And I found getting a job as either or of those was almost impossible. So it made me think a little bit more outside the box that I should expand the talents that I have when it comes to how video games are made, or how much level designing has a lot of time to it that you have to think of how to make this as beautifully and well designed as possible. There's many things that I looked at before I started this channel, and this is probably the one thing I'll say is that playing while waiting made me rethink some things that I had to look back at myself on how I expanded more on how I made IndieVoice into what it is now. I mean, look, I made it to 600 some odd subscribers just by being me and giving you all honest opinions about indie games and how much indie games are going to become the bigger and more expansive future of the game industry. I'm not saying AAA title games are bad or the worst thing. It's just that sadly enough, it seems to be majority of publishers and other people or companies are just thinking about money all the time, and the games come out as this is not worth the $70 to $80 that's being put out. Sadly to say that, but honestly, that's how I feel when it comes to indie games and playing while we're waiting. Sorry, I'm digressing a little bit. It really made me think a lot about how I should go on with expanding this channel and what I really want to do by making it into something that indie game developers can come here to see honest opinions or constructive criticism or things just to say, hey, you are doing a good job with this game. You're doing a lot of ideas out there that maybe even big time companies have never touched before, or you're expanding on something that a AAA title company may have done before, but you made it into something brand new and expansive and something that may be awe-inspiring to those down the line. So it's just a lot of things you have to look at when it comes to while waiting. I know, sorry, but yeah, look, you're waiting though. That's how I see when it comes to being on IndieVoice, doing all the editing, audio editing, all this type of stuff by myself, and taking the time to look for a job and doing a whole bunch of stuff. But while waiting to do all these type of things, I am showing off indie games, talking to indie developers. I went to PAX East. I've seen many of things that I know and wouldn't do myself before, and that's just all from using my talents, waiting and editing and constantly posting and constantly making this channel into something I really want it to be. And I thank all of you every day that has taken the time to actually do this and subscribe to me and see and hear my voice on all these videos. And I greatly appreciate you all. But anyway, back to the review. For the pros and cons of while waiting. Pros: a fresh concept. Few games tackle waiting as a mechanic and a theme this well. engaging in a minimalist way. It's amazing on how much you can feel the immersive storyline despite doing so little throughout the game. Humorous, yet thought-provoking, the game balances comedy in a different type of way on how to go about waiting beautifully. Side content and secrets, it rewards curiosity for those who try different approaches to waiting. Surprisingly addictive, it's a game that makes doing nothing feel rewarding. Cons. Might not be for everyone. If you're impatient or need constant engagement, this probably won't be your type of thing you want to play. Some situations drag on, a few levels feel a little longer than necessary, which ironically fits the theme. Limited replayability. Once you've seen everything, there's not much reason to return unless you really want to re-enjoy experiencing everything throughout the main protagonist's life. So once you've finished everything or collected everything or done all the side quests, there's not much you can do after that. It's like the game's done. It's a one and done. That's it. But you can keep re-experiencing the story in New Game, not New Game Plus, but New Game, to experience the life story of how to wait yet again. While waiting is a one-of-a-kind experience. Now, what I mean by that is it makes you rethink your relationship with time and how you handle moments of stillness. It's not just a game, it's meditation on patience itself and life. For me, honestly, for someone that's looking at this game from my perspective and living life today, it really does take the time that you have to rethink of everything you've been through or life as you experience that. Have you taken the time to just stop, sit, go find a bench, sit on a hill, sit in your room, anywhere that you find that is very quiet, and just rethink to yourself, how much time did I waste on doing something I don't want to do? Or how much did I not take the time to look in my surroundings to see what else I could expand my life on? Or how much can I do throughout the life I have right now? And what can I put it towards? All these thoughts went through my head while playing this. And honestly, this is a game that I cannot recommend enough to people for this year, pretty much of 2025. So I give this game a rating of a highly recommended rating. If you're looking for something that's refreshing, different, something that really connects to you and how your life is going now, or at least how you can rethink on your relationship, as I mentioned before, with time, because this game hits directly onto the point of how you feel as a human being and how you feel that wasting time and just sitting around doing nothing is not how you go about this. This is more of, I need to rethink of what I need to do now to expand myself into a different route. That's it for today's review on IndieVoice. What do you think of while waiting? Is it something that may interest you? Are you a fan of adventure games? Do you want to actually play a game that has more a inner message to you as a person to expand on? You know, because this year has been mostly about mental health and a lot of other things. And this one really does strike a chord for those that are just like, wow, you know, life is pretty much mostly about waiting, but also about what can you use with the time of waiting and expanding from there, because this game has a lot to give, especially when it comes to the life of the protagonist, from child to old senior citizen to going through their entire life just played out in an entire like film strip type of thing. But that's pretty much what you will experience while playing this. And honestly, sometimes you got to take a break from all the action-packed games or the constant rush of the feeling of adrenaline and just take the time to think. But anyway, would you give this game a try? And do you prefer something a bit more action-packed? And also, my fellow subscribers, do you like reviews this long, like 15 minutes, or do you like the usual 3 to 5 minutes? But this is just something I wanted to try to see if this is more in-depth reviews I could do maybe once in a while. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, subscribe for more indie gems, and support the channel. I have a Ko-fi that I just added if you want to give a donation to the channel. I want to try to do this more as a full-time thing and maybe expand more to giving more services to indie developers out there, or give more in-depth reviews of their games and such. But we'll see down the line. Each and every donation helps us keep going and bringing you more awesome content. And until next time, keep discovering, keep playing, and keep supporting indie games.